So I don't know if you have heard that or used it, but the Smart Carver is I would say, a precursor of the Magic Fill. It was added in version 13, and the idea was that if you make a selection for an area, it will kind of move the other parts together. So that's a tool that can be very useful, but only if you have something that can be really collapsed together. And you can find the Smart Carver under Image, here, Smart Carver. The way it works is that it will ask you to decide what part you want to remove and what part you want to maintain. And the program is going to mix and match, like try to blend in the middle. So let's say that I want to remove that the white flower. Actually, I'll do the so I'll select the remove and I'll paint that area in red. So the red area is what I want to remove. But you can see immediately that it's going to be tricky when I get close to something else. So this is the part that I want to remove. Then in green, I'm going to brush what I want to keep. So I want to make sure that this part here is not going to be twisted. And one thing you have to be careful is the shadows. We don't tend to see them kind of, but they're there and they can really make something weird if they disappear. So this is going to be one side, and I'm going to also select the other side. And brush that off. Okay, I have another section here that I want to keep, and there's that shadow here that I might as well remove also. Okay, and once I'm done, I have different options here, which are to contract the image, to expand the image. I'm not really sure how or why I would want to expand, but you can experiment. You can auto contract horizontally, so it will remove that painted area. What I found is that these two are probably the best. And so if I contract horizontally, it will work its magic. And this is it. So now let's hide the mask. And this is what I get. And you can see how it's not great here. You might want to have, if you want to use it, you will have to tweak that, brush off, clone, or something like that. So this is one example of what it can do. Uh, if you have, like, no, this one won't work either. If you have something that is very well defined, you might be luckier. So if I try this one, and if I want to remove the middle board, and I'll select the adjacent boards to make sure that I don't get those distorted, and I want to get that string here. there, and this one. I don't have to cover everything because it's probably going to be uh, modifying and distorting around like on each side. And now if I do the vertical, now let's remove the mask. And as you can see, in this case, it's not so bad. However, I find that this is very tricky. If you have anything that has, not that one, for example, you have a line that is not horizontal, it will automatically kind of collapse and they won't match anymore. So if I'm trying to remove the middle uh, birds, it's going to try to attach the, the wire from this side to this side, but it doesn't really align them. So, okay, Susan says, do you have to have something green filled on either side? Well, it's to prevent the distortion. So, for example, if I was to use this image, I know that the wire won't be great. But if I want to remove that part, let's see, I want to remove those two birds. Depending on how far the rest is, it might or might not uh, distort them. I tried it with the flower before, and one flower was kind of stretched. And what if I straighten the wire? Yeah, I could do that first, but that is just to illustrate that it really is important if you have anything um, that is not horizontal. And I guess in this case it didn't distort much. It was fine, but you can see how my wires are not aligned. So if you have something that is horizontal, like those surfboards, you might be able to get a better result. Let's go back to those boards though. Um, if I okay, this is my, so if I am to use the Smart Carver and only remove this one and not use the green, for some images you might end up with no distortion and some you would have some distortion. So let's see if it will distort in this case. And I think it depends on the shape of your selection also. And you can see how this board now is kind of misshaped. So that is why in that case I needed to get something in the green to say, okay, don't touch that part. Preserve that area. So it's not the best tool, but it is one of the tools available to you if you need to remove something. You have to remember that it will shrink your picture. So depending on the size, the picture will be narrower or not as high, which can be could have an impact. So some pictures will be better with that tool, others won't. But you're lucky because in PaintShop there are many other tools to remove a photobomber or something you really don't want to have on your photo. Hey there! I hope you found this information helpful. If you're curious to dive deeper and explore more about PaintShop Pro, we've got a wealth of resources waiting for you in our membership area. There, you'll find in-depth classes, workshops, Q&A sessions, and much more to help you enhance your PaintShop Pro and digital scrapbooking skills. Feel free to check it out. The link is in the video description below. Thanks for watching and see you in the campus!